Today I'm going to reveal how to attract the woman of your dreams in just 5 steps. Many men think attracting a woman is complicated, but it's actually simpler than it seems. In the next few minutes, I'll share proven techniques that will drastically increase your chances of success. You'll learn how to create a genuine connection, project confidence, and leave a lasting impression. These simple yet powerful steps will transform your love life and help you find the relationship you've always wanted. Before we dive in, if you've ever had that moment of despair, seeing an average guy going out with a stunning woman and thinking, how the hell did he get that? Leave a like now. This helps me know I'm on the right track and that this content is reaching those who truly need it. First, let's face the harsh reality. Most men fail miserably with women, not because they were born unlucky, but because they are operating with completely misguided information. Hollywood, well-meaning friends, and even the internet are full of advice that seems to make sense, but is actually sabotaging your chances. Forget everything you've learned until now. Think about it. When was the last time you froze up in front of an attractive woman, not knowing what to say? Or worse, when you finally mustered the courage, your words came out all wrong, resulting in that awkward silence. I know that feeling. Rejection stings. It erodes your self-confidence and makes you question your worth as a man. But what if I told you that these painful experiences can end today, that in just 1 month you could transform into the kind of man women instantly notice when he walks into a room, the kind of man who doesn't need to chase, they come to you. In the coming weeks, I'm going to guide you through a complete transformation journey. We'll cover everything from how to develop unshakable self-confidence, to how to create irresistible sexual tension, to conversation techniques that make her captivated by your every word. This isn't just another pickup guide, it's a comprehensive system based on real female psychology and proven social skills. But beware, this knowledge is powerful. With great power comes great responsibility. What I'm going to share with you must be used with integrity, always respecting boundaries and consent. I'm not here to teach manipulation, but rather to help you unlock your true masculine potential and create authentic connections. If you're ready to stop being invisible and start living the love life you've always dreamed of, keep watching. Your transformation begins now. First, mastering your mindset, the foundation of irresistible attraction. Before talking about what to do or say to attract a woman, we need to address something much more fundamental: the man you are. The fatal error most men make is trying to compensate for a weak mindset with superficial tactics and techniques. They are like houses built on sand. They crumble at the first storm. Let's build your granite foundation. Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and instantly command everyone's attention? It's no coincidence, it's not magic. It's the direct result of the mindset they carry. Here's a truth few men understand. Women are attracted to the energy you project, long before they are attracted to your physique or what you say. So, what is the secret to this magnetic energy? Authentic self-confidence. Don't confuse it with arrogance, which is just insecurity in disguise. True confidence comes from a deep acceptance of who you are, with all your imperfections. It sounds simple, but it's revolutionary. Let's move on to the first practical exercise. Every morning, before looking at your phone or getting contaminated by the day's worries, set aside 5 minutes for intentional visualization. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as the man you aspire to be: confident, centered, powerful. See yourself walking into social situations with total presence. Feel the sensation of people being naturally drawn to your energy. Your brain cannot completely differentiate between vivid visualization and real experience. You are literally reprogramming your neural patterns. Now, be honest with yourself. What are the negative voices that circle your mind when you think about approaching an attractive woman? She's too pretty for me. I'll make a fool of myself. She probably has a boyfriend. These limiting beliefs are like invisible chains that hold you back. It's time to break them one by one. For each negative belief you identify, create a corresponding positive affirmation. But don't just repeat empty phrases. Create real evidence to support this new belief. For example, if you think, "I'm not interesting enough," recall all the times people were genuinely engaged in conversations with you. List your hobbies, passions, and unique experiences. The mind responds to evidence, not just wishes. A powerful exercise to accelerate this mental transformation is what I call rejection practice. For a whole week, make a small daily request to a stranger. It could be asking for directions, a discount at a store, or a recommendation. The goal is not the outcome, but to desensitize your fear of rejection. When you face small rejections regularly, they lose their power over you. Remember, genuine attraction begins long before the first contact. Women are masters at detecting incongruities, when your words say one thing, but your energy says another. This is why so many guys fail with rehearsed pickup lines. The words might be right, but the energy is wrong. Allow yourself to be vulnerable for a moment. Think about the last time you truly felt fear interacting with a woman. Now imagine how liberating it would be to approach that same situation with inner calm, knowing your value is not on the line, regardless of her response. This is the mindset we are building. The transformation of your mindset won't happen overnight. It's a process, not an event. But if you commit to these exercises daily, within a week, you'll already notice differences. In a month, you'll be a completely new man. Many men make the mistake of skipping this step, eager for techniques and magic phrases. Don't fall into that trap. Without this foundation, you'll just be putting on a mask that will eventually fall off. With it, every technique you learn next will become 10 times more powerful. Before we proceed to the crucial second step of this journey, I want to ask a question. How did you feel confronting these limiting beliefs? If this content is resonating with you, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The next steps will completely change how women respond to you. Second, magnetic communication. How to fascinate any woman with your words. Now that we've established the proper mental foundation, let's address something that terrifies most men: conversation. How many times have you gone blank, not knowing what to say to an attractive woman? Or worse, forcing a painful conversation that slowly dies with every word? That agony ends today. The first revolutionary truth about conversation: the initial goal is never to impress. Let that sink in for a moment. Counterintuitive, right? Most men enter conversations desperately trying to prove their worth, piling up achievements and trying to sound interesting. The result? They seem needy and inauthentic. Instead, adopt this transformative mindset. Your initial conversation has only one goal: to create emotional connection. And the secret to that? Genuine curiosity. People, especially women, can sense when your interest is authentic versus when you're just waiting for your turn to speak. Let's get practical. Forget rehearsed pickup lines and complex approaches. Start with what I call observation plus curiosity. Notice something about her or the environment, make a light comment, and follow with an open-ended question. For example, "I couldn't help but notice your book. It looks fascinating. What drew you to it?" Simple, non-invasive, and opens up endless possibilities for conversation. The next level is mastering the art of quality questions. Most people ask superficial questions that generate superficial answers. What do you do? Where are you from? These questions don't spark emotion or reveal who she truly is. Instead, ask questions that make her think and feel. What excites you most about your work? What was the best decision you made in the last year? These questions generate emotionally charged answers that create instant connection. A fatal error many men make is turning the conversation into an interview, question after question, without sharing anything about themselves. Remember this: controlled vulnerability is extremely attractive. When she answers a meaningful question, share something relevant about yourself as well. This creates a pattern of reciprocity that naturally deepens the connection. Now let's address the elephant in the room: pauses in conversation. So many men panic during moments of silence, as if every second without words is a failure. Here's a truth that will set you free. Confident silence is sexy. When you can be comfortable in moments of silence, looking into her eyes with a slight smile, without the desperate need to fill it, you demonstrate powerful confidence. Silence creates tension, and tension is an essential component of attraction. A powerful technique to elevate any conversation is what I call the emotional engagement pattern. It works like this: you start light and fun, gradually deepen to something more personal and meaningful, and then return to something light. This pattern creates an emotional roller coaster that is incredibly engaging. People remember how you made them feel, not exactly what you said. Another secret of communication masters: learn the art of yes and instead. Of contradicting or abruptly changing the subject, build on what she's saying. If she mentions she loves traveling to remote places, instead of immediately telling your own travel story, say something like, "Yes, there's something magical about unexplored places, isn't there? What do you think you're seeking in those experiences far from civilization?" This shows you are truly listening and valuing what she says. It's worth noting that communication isn't just about words. Your tone of voice communicates as much as the content. Practice speaking slower, slightly lower than normal, and with deliberation. A rushed, high-pitched voice conveys nervousness. A deep, paused, and controlled voice conveys confidence and presence. And here's a tip few men know: the art of storytelling. We humans are narrative beings. Our brains are wired to engage with stories. Prepare some interesting personal stories, but remember, the value is in how you tell them, not just the content. Her seemingly mundane story told with energy, timing, and expressiveness surpasses an extraordinary story told monotonously. Now the most feared challenge: how to handle her tests and teasing. When a woman teases or challenges you, she is unconsciously testing your confidence. So many men fail here, getting defensive or trying to prove their worth. The most powerful response? Confident playfulness. Learn to laugh at yourself and respond with light humor instead of defensiveness. If she jokes about your music taste, instead of justifying, respond with something like, "Yeah, my music taste is so sophisticated, it'll take you a few years to catch up," said with a smile. This demonstrates unshakable security. Before we move on to the next crucial step, I want to emphasize these communication skills go far beyond seduction. They will transform all your social, professional, and personal interactions. It's a lifelong investment. If this content is opening your eyes to new possibilities, please leave a comment below saying, "I've made that mistake." I want to know if I'm truly helping you identify the patterns that have sabotaged your success. Third, dominant body language. How to communicate power without saying a word. We now arrive at the most underestimated element of attraction: your body language. You can have the best words in the world, but if your body is communicating insecurity, nothing else matters. Here's a surprising statistic. Studies show that over 55% of communication is nonverbal. In terms of attraction, that number is even higher. Think about it. Even before you open your mouth, your body is already telling a story. What story is it telling about you? Is it a story of confidence and power, or of insecurity and doubt? The good news is that, unlike many aspects of appearance, you have complete control over your body language, and changes here produce immediate results. Let's start with the foundation: your posture. Stand as if a string is pulling the top of your head upwards, shoulders back and down, chest slightly out, chin parallel to the floor. This posture not only projects confidence to others, but literally changes your biochemistry. Studies show that holding a power pose for just 2 minutes increases testosterone and reduces cortisol, the stress hormone. Next, let's look at the subtler but equally powerful signals. Your movements should be deliberate and controlled, never rushed or nervous. Observe truly confident men. They move as if walking underwater, with purpose and without haste. Practice this quality of movement in your daily life. When picking something up, when sitting down, when gesturing, do everything with conscious presence. A common mistake is excessive movement. When we're nervous, we tend to fidget, tapping feet, fiddling with objects, constantly adjusting clothes. These micro-movements scream insecurity. Practice the art of powerful stillness. Imagine yourself as a mountain, solid, unshakable, serene. Now the most magnetic element of body language: eye contact. Confident eye contact can literally change the temperature of a woman's body. I'm not talking about staring fixedly like a psychopath. I'm talking about a relaxed, focused, and intense gaze. The visual triangle technique is particularly powerful. Subtly alternate your gaze between her eyes and her mouth as you talk to her, occasionally glancing away briefly to break the intensity. Another critical dimension is the use of touch in communication. Appropriate touch at the right moment can dramatically accelerate connection and attraction. Start with socially acceptable and brief touches. A light touch on the arm to emphasize a point, a touch on the back when guiding her through a door. Observe her response. If she responds positively, reciprocating the touch or leaning towards you, you can gradually escalate. Remember, touch should always feel natural and appropriate to the context. Let's also address the use of space. Confident men are comfortable taking up space. Observe how you sit. Are your arms pressed against your body or relaxed and open? When standing in a group, do you place yourself on the periphery or comfortably in the center of the action? Start consciously occupying more space in social situations, not invasively but with an expansive presence. A less discussed aspect of body language is synchronization. Our brains are wired to like people who move like us. The mirroring technique involves subtly adopting elements of the other person's body language, their posture, speech rhythm, energy level. When done naturally, the key word is subtlety, it creates an unconscious sense of connection and familiarity. Here's a transformative exercise. For a week, record yourself regularly in social situations. Your phone in your pocket, recording only audio, will suffice. Afterward, listen and pay attention to how you sound. Do you talk too fast? Does your voice go up at the end of sentences, as if you're constantly asking questions? Do you use a lot of fillers like, you know, right? This self-awareness is the first step to communication mastery. Speaking of voice, it's a direct extension of your body language. A confident voice is generally deeper, slower, and more resonant than normal. Practice speaking from your diaphragm, not your throat. A simple technique. Place your hand on your stomach and ensure it expands when you inhale. When you speak, use that abdominal air to project your voice. A subtle but critical element is facial expression. So many men walk through the world with what I call a poker face, a neutral or slightly negative expression that is their default setting. This creates an invisible barrier. Practice maintaining a light interest as your default expression, not a forced smile, but an expression that communicates openness and a slight curiosity about the world around you. Another common mistake, the yes man syndrome. When we are eager to please, we tend to nod constantly, agreeing with everything she says. This communicates submissiveness, not confidence. Allow yourself to occasionally disagree, to hold your ground when appropriate. Healthy tension is an essential ingredient of attraction. And here's a secret of great seducers. Learn to use strategic pauses in your communication. Before answering a question, allow yourself a brief pause. This not only gives weight to your words, but also communicates that you are a man who thinks before he speaks, a quality increasingly rare and attractive in today's world. The final concept of body language is the most powerful: congruence. All elements of your nonverbal communication must tell the same story. Incongruence, when your words say one thing but your body communicates another, is instantly detected by the female subconscious. True mastery comes when your internal mindset, your words and your body language are perfectly aligned. If you're feeling that this information can truly change your life, share this video with a friend who also needs to hear this. And don't forget to leave a like. We're only halfway through the most transformative content on masculine attraction you'll ever find. Fourth, the art of escalation. How to turn interest into irresistible attraction. We now arrive at the point where many men fail tragically. They manage to start an interesting conversation, build rapport, but then nothing happens. The interaction remains platonic and eventually cools off. Why? Because they don't understand the critical art of escalation, the deliberate transition from a friendly interaction to one charged with attraction. Escalation is not an event, it's a process, and it begins long before physical touch. In fact, it begins in your mind. You must completely internalize that your romantic sexual interest in her is natural, healthy, and nothing to be ashamed of. So many men approach women with an almost apologetic mindset, as if their desire is an inconvenience or something to hide. This dissonance is noticeable and instantly kills attraction. The first level of escalation is verbal. Your conversation should gradually include elements that signal you see her as a desirable woman, not just a potential friend. This can be as simple as a well-placed compliment. "I love how your eyes light up when you talk about your work." Note that this is very different from a generic compliment about appearance. You are acknowledging something unique and personal about her. The most powerful verbal escalation technology is what I call dissociated intent statements. Instead of directly saying "you're very attractive," you might say, I don't usually feel this immediately comfortable talking to someone I just met. There's something about you." This communicates attraction without pressure and without sounding like a rehearsed pickup line. A crucial element of verbal escalation is the strategic use of your voice. Gradually reduce the volume and speed of your speech as the conversation progresses. This forces natural physical proximity. She has to lean in to hear you, and creates a sense of intimacy. This simple adjustment can completely transform the energy of an interaction. Speaking of proximity, spatial escalation is your next focus. At the beginning of an interaction, completely respect her personal space. As the connection develops, you can subtly test by moving slightly closer. If she remains comfortable without pulling away, this is a positive sign. If she moves away, back off and rebuild more comfort before trying again. An often overlooked element of escalation is the power of charged silence. When you make a bold statement or a genuine compliment, resist the urge to immediately fill the silence that follows. Allow the moment to breathe. Maintain eye contact and a slight smile. These moments of tension are where attraction often explodes. Now, let's address physical escalation, the aspect that causes the most anxiety in men. The secret here is natural progression. Never go from 0 to 100. Start with socially acceptable touches, a brief touch on the shoulder to emphasize a point, a light touch on the arm during a shared moment of laughter. Observe her reaction, not just if she accepts the touch, but if she reciprocates in any way. Physical escalation should follow what I call the intimacy ladder. Each rung goes up a bit more in terms of personal intimacy. From a touch on the arm, you can progress to a touch on the back, a hug, holding hands, touching her hair, and so on. The key principle: always take a step back occasionally. Paradoxically, temporarily retreating creates more attraction than constant advancement. But the most powerful escalation happens in the realm of emotions. You must be able to take her on an emotional roller coaster, from laughter to deep contemplation, from nostalgia to exciting anticipation. People get addicted to people who make them feel the full range of emotions. Monotony is the killer of attraction. A revolutionary concept of escalation is the use of open loops, starting an intriguing story or making a fascinating statement, but then changing the subject before concluding. The human brain hates incomplete loops and will keep returning to them. When you create multiple open loops in a conversation, you become literally addictive. She can't stop thinking about you and what you'll say next. Another critical element of escalation is what I call the false exit. At some point, when the energy is high, casually mention that you need to leave soon. This creates scarcity and often dramatically intensifies your perceived value. If she is invested, you'll notice subtle signs of disappointment and possibly even attempts to extend your interaction. I need to emphasize, at all stages of escalation, you must be constantly reading and respecting her comfort level. Effective escalation is never about pressuring or coercing. It's about leading the interaction in a more intimate direction, while remaining completely attuned to her signals, verbal and nonverbal. The art of escalation also includes knowing when to back off. Sometimes a woman may not be interested, regardless of how skilled you are. Accepting this gracefully without anger or insistence is the mark of a truly confident man. Remember, compatibility is a two-way street, and not every interaction will lead to a romantic connection, regardless of your skills. For the more advanced men, there is the concept of last-minute resistance. This is a common phenomenon where, even when a woman is clearly attracted, she may hesitate at the last moment before physical intimacy. This is often not a lack of interest, but a natural mechanism to preserve her social value. The key here is never to pressure, but rather to normalize the situation, take a step back and gradually rebuild the escalation. patience and understanding are essential. If you are absorbing this knowledge and feeling the potential for transformation in your life, help this channel grow. Leave a like, share with a friend who needs this, and turn on notifications. The knowledge I'm sharing has taken years to perfect and apply. Fifth, the complete system, integrating everything into an irresistible approach. We've reached the critical moment where all the pieces come together. Until now, we've explored each element separately: mindset, communication, body language, and escalation. But the true power comes when you integrate all of this into a cohesive system. Think of it like an orchestra. Each instrument is powerful on its own, but when they play in harmony, the experience is transcendent. The first key to integration is total presence. When you are interacting with a woman, you must be 100% present, not thinking about what to say next, not worrying about the outcome, not distracted by the environment. This quality of attention is incredibly rare in today's world, and therefore incredibly attractive. She can feel when you are truly with her versus when your mind is wandering. The second principle of integration is calibrated authenticity. This means being genuinely yourself, but the most developed version of yourself. So many men interpret "be yourself" as an excuse not to grow. True authenticity is not static, it's dynamic, always evolving, always expanding. You can be authentic while still consciously working to develop aspects of yourself. Now let's translate all of this into a practical framework for interaction. I call this the AIDA method: attention, interest, desire, action. This framework, originally from marketing, applies perfectly to the dynamics of human attraction. Attention. Your initial approach and appearance capture her attention. This is where your confident body language, personal style, and initial approach combine to create an impactful first impression. Remember, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Interest. Once you have her attention, you spark her interest through fascinating conversation and by demonstrating unique aspects of your personality. This is where your skills at asking quality questions and telling captivating stories come into play. Desire. Interest transforms into desire when you begin to implement escalation techniques, creating sexual tension, demonstrating social value, and intensifying the emotional connection. This is the point where she starts to wonder where this is going and imagine possibilities with you. Action. Finally, you lead the interaction to the next level, whether it's exchanging contact information, setting up a date, or leading to a more intimate moment. The key here is to lead with confidence and clarity. A critical concept for integrating the entire system is what I call attraction momentum. Just as a train requires a lot of energy to start moving, but then gains momentum, attraction works the same way. The initial stages require more energy and deliberate effort, but once momentum is built, attraction begins to perpetuate almost on its own. To build this momentum, you need to understand the turning points in any interaction. These are moments where the energy and direction of the interaction significantly shift. Examples include the moment she starts asking you questions, instead of just answering; when she starts revealing more personal information; when she makes physical contact for the first time; when she shows clear signs of investment, like canceling other plans to continue with you. A crucial skill for the integrated system is what I call situational leadership. This means adjusting your leadership style to the context and the specific woman. Some situations and personalities respond better to a more assertive and direct leadership, while others thrive with a more collaborative and suggestive approach. Developing the social intelligence to discern which style to use and when is a game changer. Another element of the integrated system is understanding the cycles of comfort and excitement. A purely comfortable interaction can be pleasant, but doesn't generate attraction. A purely exciting interaction can be stimulating, but doesn't create connection. The secret is to strategically alternate between moments of comfort, building rapport, creating security, and moments of excitement, creating tension, introducing novelty, taking calculated social risks. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of consistency in the integrated system. Inconsistency is the killer of attraction. If you are confident in one moment, but then crumble at the first sign of disinterest, the whole structure collapses. True attraction is built on the foundation of reliability. She needs to feel that the man she is meeting is genuinely who you are, not a temporary performance. In the integrated system, it's also crucial to understand the concept of social test. An attractive woman has many options and has developed filtering mechanisms to quickly evaluate men. She will unconsciously test you in various ways, perhaps challenging your opinions, changing moods abruptly, mentioning other men, or even making seemingly unreasonable demands. These are not signs of disinterest. They are tests to see how you respond under pressure. Reacting with calm humor, healthy boundaries, and unshakable confidence passes these tests with flying colors. You must also integrate the understanding of cycles of approach and withdrawal. It's natural in any attraction dynamic to have moments of intense approach followed by periods of space. When you master the timing of these cycles, knowing when to intensify the connection and when to give space, you create a dynamic dance that is deeply attractive. Finally, the integrated system includes a sophisticated understanding of progressive investment. The more a person invests in you, in terms of time, emotional energy, vulnerability, and even resources, the more valued the connection becomes. Create strategic opportunities for her to invest more and more in you and the interaction, always matching and slightly exceeding her level of investment. If you're feeling that this is the knowledge that was missing from your life, the missing link in your understanding of the dynamics between men and women, show it by leaving your comment below. I'm extremely curious to know which aspect of this system do you find most challenging? The mindset, the communication, the escalation? Share your thoughts. Now let's put it all together with a clear action plan for the next 30 days. This is your journey to social domination and success with women. Week 1. Full focus on mindset and body language fundamentals. Practice visualization exercises daily. Start implementing changes in your posture and movement and begin facing small rejection challenges. Week 2. Focus on magnetic communication. Practice your conversation skills daily, even in non-romantic interactions. Refine your ability to ask quality questions, tell engaging stories, and create connection through conversation. Week 3. Master the art of escalation. Start practicing verbal and non-verbal escalation in your interactions, always respecting boundaries and consent. Learn to recognize and respond to signs of interest. Week 4. Integrate the complete system. Start implementing the IDA approach in all your interactions with women. Refine your understanding of timing, momentum, and progressive investment. Remember, mastery comes with consistent practice. You won't become a master of seduction just by watching this video. You need to apply this knowledge in the real world, learn from your mistakes, and continuously refine your approach. You are on the verge of a profound transformation, not just in your love life, but in your identity as a man. What you've learned here are not just seduction techniques. They are fundamental principles of human communication, social intelligence, and personal development that will benefit every aspect of your life. The only question that remains is, will you just watch this video and think interesting? Or will you actually take the next step and implement this knowledge? The choice is yours, but remember, a year from now, you'll wish you had started today. If this content impacted you, show it by subscribing to the channel, turning on notifications, and sharing with other men who need to hear this message. Together, we are creating a new generation of confident, authentic, and socially powerful men. Until the next video, where I'll reveal advanced techniques that 99% of men will never know. Take care and remember, your journey to becoming a high-value man starts now.